Shall I put on the fisherman's gloves? The lobster fishing gloves? Whatever kind of gloves they are. The gloves I got years ago when I lived in Japan. And I needed to keep my hands warm while I was riding my little 49cc Honda scooter. You're looking a little unruly, so we're just gonna kind of tie everything together here. And the other way as well. Alright, let's move on to something else. I'm in kind of a tappity tapping kind of mood. Here is a paint sample. One of the myriad whites. I like how the little sticker on the top is just kind of catching and unsticking. Of course, now it's not really doing it. But yeah, we had a good summer. We went on out to Colorado, deep into the Rockies, to the San Juans, where you got Uri and Silverton and Telluride and all that. They call it the Switzerland of America, and I mean, aside from the healthcare situation being much the same as the rest of America, I'd say they're not far off the mark. Oh yeah, let's try this one. Hope that wasn't too loud. I don't think it was. Here we have an old ink cartridge, and I quite like the sound of it, the way it just kind of rattles around in there. Kind of squelchy clacky. Can you hear the birds tweeting at all? Was that a crow just now? Maybe. Let's move on to some phone sounds, shall we? Old school flip phone. Do I need to turn the brightness up a little bit? Hopefully you got your eyes closed so you wouldn't even notice this kind of thing, but there we go, that's a bit better, isn't it? It must have clouded over a little bit more. I always do focus lock and I guess brightness lock when I do these videos, because it kind of bugs me in ASMR ASMR videos when the camera keeps on focusing, flipping back and forth and not focusing correctly. I'm like, you know what? I'd rather just have it focus the same way. Even if it's not always ideal, at least it's not just kind of smushing back and forth between stuff. Besides which, my phone, which I'm recording on, is monumentally old. It's practically rotary, so I wouldn't imagine its autofocus is the most reliable. Not necessarily going to pick the best point to focus on. Should we send a text? Should we see if I can remember? I mean, we're talking a make-believe text. Let's see if I can remember how to do it quickly. Let's see. Hello. How are you doing today? Definitely not as intuitive as it was back in the day, that's for sure. Although, in a way, I prefer this way of sending texts before the swipey predictive stuff, where it just seems to get it wrong a lot of the time. At least this, you know what, you got a physical key, and once you get the hang of it, it can be pretty quick. Alright then, you know I did grab quite a few things thinking about it. ASMR on and off for years, but I never did that for my first video. I never did that stalwart of YouTube putting a video in front of a lot of people. That is my first time trying ASMR, so maybe I'll do that. It's pretty cheeky, but you know what, I never used it before. It's not like I'm using it for the second time. I think it's fine. I think you can save that title for another time, much like a get out of jail free card. just save it. We'll see, I don't know. Maybe I'll use that. Should we do some... Oh, let's do this real quick, because there's no frame. So, going past the detent, I like the sound of it, but if you do it quick, I think it does a fantastic sound. There it is. I think that sounds great. That was a quick one. Let's do some raindrops. Some titanium. Some zirconium titanium mix, and some copper. You can hear the heavier copper one when it comes. That was it. See if you can hear it this time. There was one there. That was it. See if you can hear it when it comes along. That was it. See if you can hear it. There it was. There it was. Alright, let's do some other quickies. So, here is titanium. I'm not doing very good raindrops here, let me try again. And let's do a titanium zirconium mix here. The zirconium is about half as heavy again as titanium, something like that. So you should hear it when they hit, when the zirconium comes. There they are. There go the zirconium. This way, of course, we start with the zirconium, finish with titanium. See if you can hear the zirconium when they hit. Yeah, you got it. Let's try it again, see if you can hear the zirconium when they hit.